Well, when I went into partnership with my business partner, the founder of the business, it was on the basis that we were going to grow the company over 5 years and then sell. So in fact, the decision was taken right from the off, which was quite an advantage really, because it gave us a timeline to work to, and all of the shareholders were in full agreement that that was what we wanted to do with the business. So in fact, that part of it was quite straightforward. Well, our involvement with Prism went back some 6 years, in fact, before we sold the business. The founder of the business went to one of Prism's seminars in London and listened to what the Prism team had to say. I then joined the business, and a couple of years after that, we decided that 3 years out, it was time to start thinking about it. And so we both went to one of Prism's seminars again in London and met with Peter and Robert, and that gave us a lot of food for thought. We took away what we heard from that meeting, and a year on from that, we decided that the time was right to put the business up for sale. And at that point, we decided that we liked what Prism had told us. We liked the approach that we'd heard about, and so we engaged with Prism and took it from there. We discussed trying to sell the business ourselves, very briefly, I would have to say. I've personally had a lot of experience of M&A transactions, so I know just how much work is involved and how time-consuming it can be. So whilst I probably could have made a stab at doing it, we decided it was far better to leave it to the professionals and really focus our efforts on running the business and trying to keep the value of the business growing through the process itself. There was no doubt in my mind that we would achieve a better outcome using professional brokers such as Prism, and so really it was in the end it was a no-brainer. So I've been involved in a lot of M&A transactions, and I would have to say that working with Prism on our transaction was the smoothest of any I've been involved in. The process itself was very well run and very well managed. It was very smooth and very efficient. Not to say that Prism didn't challenge us. They made us think about aspects of the business that we needed to change. Things that every business owner will know, that there are certain things you probably know in your heart of hearts you should do, but it's easy to put them off. Well, the Prism team put us on the spot, and we made some changes which were in the end hugely beneficial. So yes, the process was smooth, but we were challenged along the way in a good way. The sale process itself with Prism, for me personally, I found it very smooth. I found it very controlled. We always knew what was going on. We were involved. Prism really became to feel like part of our team. So we really felt that we were pulling in the same direction. We knew what we needed to do, and we got on and executed very smoothly. So from a personal point of view, I found it really quite a satisfying process, if I can put it that way. Well, for any business owner considering selling their business, it's probably one of the most important decisions you may ever take in your business life. So it's important to really get the decisions right. And I would say, first off, don't be tempted to go do it yourself. Appoint a professional broker, because what you as the business owner need to do is focus on growing the value of the business. So keep selling, keep adding new customers, keep adding revenues, grow the top line. That's the best way to get the maximum return for your business. The Prism guys will maximize the value of the sale. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. They have a far greater database of contacts than we would ever have ourselves. So let them get on with that part of the process. Another thing is to get all of your ducks in a row. So buyers of businesses don't like risk. So they always want to see a well-run business. So if there are bits of tidying up that you've been meaning to do over the years, get them done, get everything sorted out so that it's a clean business, and that will make the process go very much more smoothly. Another aspect is to be very clear on your exit criteria. So, don't go into a sale thinking, well, I'll see what I get offered and I'll decide whether that's good enough. You really should have a clear idea of what is acceptable and what isn't. So in our case, we had a number in mind, and if we hadn't achieved that number, we would have walked away. In fact, we got more than one offer which met our criteria. So we knew we would achieve a transaction fairly early in the process. And the very last bit of advice is keep going to the end. It's hard work. It can seem like a long road sometimes, but keep going, and the rewards will come afterwards. The sale process with Prism, I would describe as very controlled. So there's a very clear process. It's managed as a project from start to finish, and it was really very calm. So there were never any panics. We always knew what was going on. We knew where we were in the process. So I would say very controlled. I would say professional. The guys from Prism know their stuff, and they're very good at it from my experience and my observation. So very professional. And finally, friendly. This is the biggest transaction probably any business owner can do, and it's very important to have the right relationship with your professional advisors. And I would say that again, the team from Prism, the whole team from Prism was easy to work with, made us feel very, very valued, and it was a pleasant and productive working environment. So yeah, so I would say definitely controlled. I would say definitely professional and friendly to boot.